That's a nice one.
Yeah, I'm liking the look of this one.
This, I think, would be your style. I think you'd look good in something like this year.
Yeah.
You know, if you're looking for a car or not. I'm going to take you on the test drive, though, in the big Wagoneer over there. So, bigger than this, but who knows? Maybe that's something you're going to like. So, how about you jump on? I'll drive you around town.
All right, let's check it out.
When you were a kid, you grew up in Toronto. Did you pay attention to the Sabres a little bit? Did you follow on the Sabres? Did you have hatred or love or like for the Sabres? What was it like when you were in Toronto as a kid?
I don't know. I mean, I followed the NHL quite a bit, so I kind of knew how they were doing all the time, but I wouldn't say I looked and saw how they were doing every game. So I was always a Leaf fan growing up. So. But I wouldn't say I had like a hatred.
Who was your favorite player growing up, though? If you had to pick one, who was one that you turned on to see highlights and the games and watch play?
I think all growing up it was always Crosby,
especially
when I was really young. So he was someone I would always kind of try and watch all his games, and then I would always watch on YouTube different videos on him. So he was for sure the guy.
Definitely like your generation, the YouTube videos and all of that. Like that's big. Did you ever get to meet him?
I actually did this summer for the first time.
Okay.
So it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Would he? Well, obviously he knew who you were because he's a hockey fan and a hockey geek. He knows everything. But were you nervous? Were you nervous to go out and say hi to him?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I was pretty nervous. So it was nice. He kind of came up and just introduced himself. So it was obviously pretty cool experience.
So now what happens when you see him on the ice? Now that you've got to meet him, do you give him a quick cross check right away and say, "Hey, remember me"?
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I don't know. Probably just not say anything.
Okay, so what was the hardest, or I don't want to call it the worst test, but the hardest testing that you had to do this year in camp?
I think everyone would say the bike test. We got this bike test that you got to pretty much go as hard as you can for 3 minutes. So.
For 3 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like that's not the Wingate, like the 30-second
Wingate.
No. 3 minutes?
Yeah. So you kind of got to pace yourself, but you're going pretty hard the whole time.
Oh boy. Okay. How'd you feel you did on that?
I did all right. I did in the summer earlier, so I kind of just tried to stay at that same pace, which.
Test runs.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah.
So, either a run or a bike test, this or that. Which one would you prefer doing?
I'm going bike all day.
I
can't stand running, so.
Any testing you've ever done that had to do with a run that you're like, no, I'm not doing it. I gotta jump on a bike.
There's never been any that I've said I'm not doing, but at school we did some that we did like shuttle runs that were pretty tough, and your hips, or at least for me, my hips get pretty tight
like
after.
The beep test?
Yeah,
something like that?
It's pretty similar. So I forget exactly how it was, but it's basically you just ran there and back like a bunch of times and had to get in a certain amount of time. So it definitely wasn't fun.
Okay, let me ask you this. We talked to Henry, and we kind of joked about, I didn't know if he had noticed or not, about how your helmet sometimes, like, it's just a little sideways.
Yeah.
It's like if I wear my glasses a little sideways. Is this something that's always been the case? Like, did you at one point realize, like, it feels like my helmet's a little tilted, or it's always been like that?
I don't know. Ever since I came here, that's when people kind of started noticing that. So I don't know if it's just the visor. It's easier to tell with it being slanted or whatever, but it's definitely not something that I mean to have happen. It just kind of happens and I don't notice. So I don't know if it's my head shaped in a awkward way or if it's my hair or what. So I don't know, but it's definitely the first time I've kind of realized it.
How was that adjustment? Because in college, you had to play with the full cage or bubble visor or whatever you decide. How is that from wearing the full cage to wearing the half visor now? Because you also wore the half visor when you played juniors before going to Michigan, right?
Yeah. I have no problem with that. I know a lot of guys have a difficult time like from cage or from visor to cage, but for me it was no different other than, I don't know, your visor fogs up every once in a while, but other than that, like seeing I think is pretty much the same, and it's kind of nice to have a cage and not have to worry about getting hit in the face at all. So.
The thing that Eric Comrie said is he made a bet with one of his buddies because he has one of those self-driving cars that he doesn't think his kids will need driver's license in 16, 18 years from now. You talk about wearing the full cage and the half visor. That's a debate that we have sometime on our show. Is, do you think there will come a time where NHL players will have to wear the full shield? Or do you think now like half visor is where it's always going to be at? And if so, how long do you think it's going to take before a full visor or full shield comes on?
I don't know. I think it'll probably stay just visor.
Okay. Well, you got to remember, we went from no buckets to, wow, one guy's wearing a helmet to, oh, there's guys wearing visor, and now everybody, unless you're grandfather Dan, which there's very few guys left. I think Pat Maroon is one of the only one that doesn't wear a visor, but you guys all have to wear visors now. So is it a logical next step?
I don't know, maybe. I think the only way that happens is something really bad happens, which hopefully that doesn't happen. But
something that you're really excited or looking forward to this season?
Yeah, I think just continue to build on how we played last year and just continue to go into every game this year and try and get better.
Well, we're back here. Everything is good. I just went on the yellow light. That was just borderline. But look, there was some cars here today, so hopefully maybe you find something you like, and thanks for taking the test ride.